You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello and welcome to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. It is Friday the 7th of June and I'm afraid I have been absent for a couple of days. That wasn't my initial plan, but I'm not going to lie, I'm really struggling with motivation and my mental health at the moment. This all comes back to something I've discussed on here before, and I think what didn't help was my recent trip to Beijing. So I'm quite surprised I managed to do a podcast pretty much every day from Beijing. There was one day where you got a pre-recorded emergency podcast, which was the first random questions one, and then the day I landed I actually recorded the night before in Beijing, knowing that I'd probably be too tired because I wouldn't get home till about 8 or 9 o'clock. But since then I've really struggled to motivate myself. This is, as I say, it's to do with my friend that died and a few things I've discovered since then. I'm not going to go into it in any detail because that would not be appropriate, but these things have really screwed my head up and messed with my head quite a lot, and it's really caused me to struggle to motivate myself, so I haven't wanted to live stream. So I should have done a couple of live streams the last couple of days, so I've got 3 days off, of which this is the third. And I should have done a live stream on every day, and chances are I'm not going to. In fact, this is going to be a bit of an excuse because my brain is still all over the place, so I'm kind of going to make an excuse for myself today. Although I'm doing this, I've now got a 2-day trip to New York. If I'm totally honest, I have attempted to not have to do it, but unfortunately we are short of people at the moment, so I'm going to have to do the trip, which is fair enough. I'll be okay, but it's not really the flying that's the problem, it's what I do with myself down route. Now, where this next trip, this New York, is okay, is that we only get to spend about 17 or 18 hours on the ground. It's a very quick turnaround trip. So I'll get there, probably have something to eat, sleep, have something else to eat, maybe sleep again, and then we'll be coming home. So I won't have time to dwell on things, which unfortunately my longer Shanghai trip enabled me to do. That's not to say I didn't enjoy the Shanghai trip to some degree. So bits of it were really good, got to catch up with some people that was really nice to see, but the last day, the full day, the Monday, my brain just went into overdrive, and I really struggled. So that's that basically. The other thing I'll quickly talk about is I've published on my website, which is Richard Boxshall. Is it richardaboxshallwrites.wordpress.com? Let me just check that, but I'm pretty sure it is. richardaboxshallwrites.wordpress.com. So I published my short story on there today, which is my Doctor Who and the Bill crossover. It's the third in a series of stories linking the two shows that I'm very passionate about. This one is called Dead Presumed Missing. It's named after an episode of the third series of the Bill called Missing Presumed Dead, but it takes obviously the opposite point of view because it's all about the strange death of Peter Alan Tyler in 1987, which is of course a Doctor Who crossover, because Peter Alan Tyler was Rose Tyler's father, and in the original version of history he died on a road by himself, and then because of Rose's interference in the Doctor Who episode Father's Day, he ended up dying actually outside a church where some friends were getting married, and I've incorporated both versions of his death into this story. So somebody reports his death but they can't find any evidence of it, and then eventually it does happen, and there's a couple of weird anomalies, and I quite enjoyed writing it. So that is actually up there. So if you look on the right hand side of my website, there is a little tab entitled 6040 Bill Doctor Who crossover short stories, and it's the third entry on there. And if you're listening to this today, there's actually a blog entry today which talks a little bit about how I'm struggling with mental health, but also talks about this story I've written and has the link to it posted as part of that article. So I'm a bit disappointed in myself that I haven't managed to carry on. I actually thought given what had happened, I was doing rather well, but I don't know if it's delayed shock or delayed grief or whatever. But really, my brain has gone into overdrive and I'm really struggling to get any writing done at all, which is quite frustrating because I'm in danger of missing some deadlines I've set myself. Not that it actually matters when they happen, but the deadlines around getting stuff sent off to my agent, or to find an agent, sorry, because I don't have one, and bits and pieces like that. But then on the other hand, once I've done this New York trip, I have got a fortnight off work. And I had my roster published last night, so I've got some really cool trips next month, including a Singapore, Sydney, which I'm really looking forward to. I always love that trip, it's cracking. So that's a bit of a pathetic update today, sorry about that. As I say, I am going to allow myself, unless my state of mind massively improves over the next couple of days, I'm not going to attempt to do anything from New York. I will just rest up, sort of shut my brain down, and hopefully come back to doing this on Monday the 10th. So thank you very much for listening. So sorry, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.